Chat, here we go with the biggest 1v1 today, a 1v1 that has been going on for what feels like all time. It is Jack versus oKhaliD. If you watch Jack on YouTube, you've seen this matchup at least a couple times. And if you watch the show match scene, you've still seen it a couple times more. And today, these guys are going to play a best of 5 for $300. $200 courtesy of MetaFi. Check them out. Use code Feer. And $100 courtesy of Tomacash. Any more donations, if you're so inclined, would be added to the prize pool between these two. It's going to be a best of 5 between Jack and oKhaliD. Now, at this point, we have played 5 EU versus Middle East matches. So if you haven't seen them, I encourage you to check them out either in the VOD or on YouTube. And if you're showing up here for the first time, the state of the matches are such... I'm about to spoil them, so make sure you go back and check them if you haven't. 3 EU wins and 1 Middle East win. So oKhaliD right now trying to bring it back for the Middle East and make it a 3-2 overall scoreline. Jack trying to continue the EU dominance of the past few games and take it 4-1 for EU. Jack and oKhaliD both searching for offense at the beginning of this game. These guys are maybe the 2 smartest minds in 1v1. And I think we're going to see a ton of back and forth between the 2 of them as they counter and counter back. Right now, feeling each other out. One of them having a ton of offense. Jack is going to kill this ball on top of his car. And he is maybe one of the most lethal with a slow dribble of anybody that I've watched. Once he gets that carry, he can bring it to an almost halt and walk it to your net. There's nothing scarier, as he has a great decision-making ability to change up his attack no matter what you decide to do. That being said, oKhaliD was able to cover it. Jack is going to dive for the demo. That's going to be the first goal of the game when he doesn't connect. And this demo was definitely a bit of a risk. Far away from the ball, which means it's not easy to predict where oKhaliD might go. When you're making demos near the play or maybe towards a boost grab, that's when they're easiest because you can kind of predict where they're headed, either towards the play or towards a boost, and intercept them. Jack was trying to go for a pretty far away demo that oKhaliD was not set to do either. I mean, he was going to be hard to predict. That being said, Jack wins the kickoff, gains control, and flicks top right. No better way to punish a shadow defender on that post and to make it impossible to get to. Jack, another kickoff win. This time going for the low 50 as oKhaliD turns the challenge and takes the lead after dropping the early goal. I think both these guys so far have gone to standard kickoffs. I expect to see a good mix-up between the both of them. Here at the diagonal is probably most likely to see a standard. Jack actually bumped oKhaliD into the save. There was an angle, but not after Jack accelerated his opponent. And now oKhaliD trying to break Jack down. I think Jack has done a good job of saving the tiny bit of boost that he does have, and he is going to be able to steal the corner. So that'll be the end of that possession. oKhaliD out to the midfield. Not one to play passively. He's actually pre-jumped behind the ball, hiding behind it the whole way to stop the Jack dribble. Jack from the ceiling. He's not trying to shoot here. He's just trying to protect the ball to see if he can catch it, continue his possession. He dropped it a little bit, but not as bad as it could have been. And now, never mind, it was pretty bad. So he dropped the ball, and it rolled into the corner. Not what he wanted. I'm sure he wanted a carry or a bounce dribble. And then, in a greedy attempt to stay with the play, did not make contact there high on the side wall. Jack, direct kickoff win. I think that was another diagonal. Both of them sticking with standard kickoffs. Goal side kickoff for both of them. Jack just cleaner on the setup. Jack now off the kickoff. Had an opportunity to maybe pick boost and get a possession, but he prefers to cut directly at the net. oKhaliD was there for it. Stopped out that first shot, but only just barely cleared it to the back wall before Jack has yet another possession. The delayed flick. What a shot from Jack. Threatening the flick, and maybe even, you could argue, threatening like a fake, because when you delay it that long, people can start thinking the flick's not going to come, but it does come. And it gets sent right over the top of oKhaliD. 4-2. khalid off the wall. The reset, he's going to need that to bring it back to the net, which does make it a bit easier for Jack to save. Doesn't have to worry about the fake, since the fake would have hit the back wall. Now Jack in the air. His reset challenged early. Now khalid, who is desperately trying to protect the play, might rush this into a faster shot than he otherwise would have taken. He had to do that because he needed the possession to be his. If he doesn't get up to the ball, Jack is going to be able to pressure him at midfield into leaving and taking control. So khalid's best option is the power shot and attempt to follow it up. But the problem is Jack had a great save. Great save, great land on the backboard. He's able to shut that down. Now khalid at the midfield tries to start a dribble. Jack intercepts it. The patience as he gets yet another carry. khalid able to force the soft flick away. This double is going to be protected by Jack, and then khalid actually didn't pick up the boost. Luckily for him, or wisely from him, he knew Jack had nothing either, so he wasn't just going to be able to shoot quickly on the net that he left for him. Soft flick from khalid, but somehow he is still able to get the boost steal, and actually he arrives to the corner at the perfect time to 50 Jack as he looks to take control. Now khalid deep in the net. Will he make it back in time? All of this time wasted has favored Jack, and he's up 5-2 with 10 seconds left to go. It is very likely that ApparentlyJack is taking this game. It's going to take some kickoff miracles for khalid. And I don't think this is said miracle. Jack sends it to the sidewall. khalid can chase him down all he wants, even if he gets one more goal, which he will not. It will go to Jack. Game 1 to Jack in this $300 best of 5. Game number 2. Jack and khalid. Jack off to the early lead. I do think he comes in to this game as the favorite if I had to pick one. I think Jack has been maybe a little bit more on form, maybe a little bit more ones played recently, although khalid does always seem to keep himself either at rank 1 or very close to it. So I don't think it takes him many games to do that. So he is playing a little bit. But I know Jack at least making some YouTube videos and playing in some show matches, so maybe staying a little bit more sharp. Of course, both these guys at the top of their game. Or sorry, at the top of the 1v1. They might not be at the top of their own games, but they're at the top of the 1v1 game at all times. It was a slow start to the previous game. Seems like maybe another slow start here. Jack, huge swing wide. Doesn't even pick up the midfield boost. khalid still is so slow on the setup that he doesn't really get to punish Jack for what was poor positioning on defense. Really just gave him time to reset. And look at that flick. Oh my goodness. Crossbar post and in. But a quick setup and a powerful shot. Reminiscent of a Moxie flick, how quickly he gets it out. My goodness. That is an absolute banger of a first goal. Jack trying to chase khalid down on the wall. And even though he didn't connect on him, he made him take a much wider path than he would have otherwise liked to. And so khalid could not get back around to the ball. I actually think he maybe went a little bit up on his own accord. I mean, Jack forced him up a little bit. I think he made the mistake of continuing it more than he had to. Maybe a direct kickoff goal for khalid. Stop the bleeding. Only down 1 minute into the game. Jack with a big kickoff win. Faking that he's going for midfield, and khalid didn't fall for it. Wait, that's actually very impressive. I wonder if we could watch that from khalid's perspective. Jack made it look like he was going midfield and then turned back, which is normally a really good play. It usually tricks the opposition into, say, going into the corner, because khalid will think that Jack's taking midfield. So he goes to the corner, but then Jack ends up beating him there, and so now he has 100 and he starved khalid. That was what Jack was trying to do by faking to the midfield. And khalid just didn't fall for it. He knew the midfield take was a fake all along. So he just continued to the midfield, got the 100, and then got back into play. I mean, that would be a death sentence if Jack was actually going to the midfield. But khalid had the read. Not going to matter, though. Jack eventually gets his goal either way. 3-1. Now Jack, will we see the wall to air dribble? This is a setup the North Americans couldn't possibly refuse, and it looks like Jack can't refuse it either. As KhaliD comes off the ceiling, gets a decent challenge, and actually recovers in time, so it seems like, at least for now, he stopped Jack in his aerial attack. But it will still be a possession for Jack, and he's trying to bait KhaliD all the way in. He's just playing it as slow as possible. This is what's happened every time I've watched Jack. He loves the slow, controlled ground play and just punishing defenders for no matter what they do. This time around, KhaliD's couple early challenges don't do enough to get Jack not to have possession. And then as he flips back to net, he's a bit of an awkward position turning towards the play, so it makes him vulnerable for that nice cut as Jack puts it behind him. 4-1. Jack running it up. Jack going to take this back to the corner. KhaliD able to get one touch to slow it down, buy himself a bit of time, but it is still going to be Jack on the carry. Look at the flick. This time it's delayed, but it comes out equally as strong as the previous one. 108 km/h flick. He is putting some serious heat behind these. KhaliD's not in a bad position, but nobody can be in a good position to stop those. The only way to take that away is to challenge it before it comes out. Jack, direct kickoff goal, 6-1. He is looking on fire right now. Not trying to let KhaliD back into this game at all. Jack, another kickoff possession in his favor. The fake, the wave dash, the shot! Jack is out here absolutely feeling himself. Tossing everything at KhaliD right now. The fake musty into the wave dash, and then he cuts the ball over the top to get the goal he so desperately wanted. 7-1. Oh my goodness. KhaliD needs to find something here to get back in this game. We know he's capable of doing so. But Jack is just in the zone. He's going to go for the ceiling reset if he finds a way to score this one. Truly, he's unstoppable, and he did. This setup was not good, I'll be honest. It's so far away from the net. It's not really threatening until you catch and cut it right back at KhaliD. In fact, he almost put it behind him. But he got it far enough back that KhaliD could not drive into the challenge. He had to just side flip the 50. And that is not a good position for him. Jack able to get an 8th. Right now, the only goal for KhaliD was that quick kickoff goal. He's not going to be able to get a second one here. But can he break Jack down? This is not the flick that he needs. Maybe if he chases him down, he can get himself back in this game. Not quite. Jack evades. A full field air dribble. Why not? Absolutely everything is working for Jack right now. He gets the reset. It's nowhere near the net. It's aimed at the backboard, and not even the movement from the flip could get it back on. Now Jack off the back wall. The reset separates himself too much from the ball, but he still steals the corner boost from KhaliD. But KhaliD's done such a good job. He's got 55. That's more than enough to make a good attack with before he can get anything going. Jack challenges him. Takes it away. KhaliD. The resets. Ball too far away from the ball. Jack will take a 9th. 9-1. The offense from KhaliD just isn't there right now. Trying to find the right recipe. I mean, if he used the flip, wonder if he didn't get it. Because if he used it, it certainly feels like it would have been better than what happened. Jack was just banking on the fact that he either didn't get it or wasn't going to use it. Ended up being right. KhaliD stealing this corner boost is a good sign. He's finally got some offensive possession here. It's going to be a second goal. Right now, it's not likely that he comes back in this game, but he needs to build some momentum going into the later part of the series. So even the little things, stealing boosts, maintaining possession, even if he holds on to possession for the next 50 seconds, I think that's a good sign. Even if he doesn't end up scoring a goal, because Jack has just been controlling absolutely everything. He needs to remind himself that he can take control of the game, and this is actually a great way to finish it here. He's had control for the past minute or so. Baits Jack out, low boost, can't challenge. KhaliD goes over the top, crossbar down. Like I said, 35 seconds, 6 goals. Don't think it's happening here in this game. But a good sign of what's to come from KhaliD. Wall to air dribble. This reset isn't going to make his shot attempt any easier. Jack now with maybe the final position of the game. 15 seconds to go. The reset into the musty. My goodness. Everything seems to be working. He is mechanically gifted right now as he shoots it over the top of KhaliD. 10-3. This game is in the books for sure. It will be at least a 2-0 for Jack. Can KhaliD bounce back? Talked about Rawas being able to keep the mental intact. I think KhaliD is another player. Oh my gosh. I mean, KhaliD wasn't really challenging. Let's make that clear. KhaliD wasn't putting out a real challenge. He was just messing around, but still, this is a filthy shot. The ceiling reset. The musties are on point. 11-3. Jack runs it up as he tries to keep his momentum heading to game number 3. The time is now for KhaliD. No more waiting if he wants to get back in this series. He's going to have to find some offense and control the game. We saw a spark of it for about 45 seconds late in that game before Jack decided to stuff that out with multiple musties and resets. Now he's going to go for a 360 dribble, and he pops it over the top of KhaliD. He doesn't score in the first, but the continuation will finish it off. A small pop as he power slides around to keep the 360 moving. The bump and the finish. Jack is in the flow state. I'm not sure anybody playing against this guy right now would be able to stop him. Jack, the cuts after gaining possession off the kickoff. KhaliD's going to boom this clear away. Only 12 boosts for him because Jack has been keeping every 100 from him. And he's going to continue to do so. KhaliD might be able to get some at the midfield, but it's going to cost him a ton of separation on the play. Bounce dribble from Jack. The 50, not great. In fact, this should be a KhaliD goal. Can't really imagine a world where it wouldn't be. So it is going to be a 1-1. KhaliD says, no, you don't use the bounce dribble on me. That's my thing. I know exactly how to stop it. KhaliD, risky dive at the start of this one. Maybe not as risky as it felt like it could have been. Oh, well, I take that back. Although I would argue the second risky play he made was the real problem. He got back to this play. It's a decent tap. Slow it down, and then he could go to net, but he just felt like with how high the bounce, Jack was obviously or going to get a great setup from that. So KhaliD felt like his chances were best just trying to immediately stop it. With how good Jack is playing, I mean, it makes sense. KhaliD's basically decided if I let Jack have a little bit of space, any sort of decent setup, he's going to score. So I have to stop him before he even gets to that point. Jack, no real angle there to find a way into net. So once again, taking every 100 boosts on the map to keep KhaliD from having a chance. And KhaliD finally getting the 100, but it's always costing him being in an awkward position. He's not ever challenging the way he wants to be because he's having to dive away, pick up the 100, and Jack is putting the pressure on to immediately force him onto defense from a position he doesn't like. KhaliD, this is a decent challenge, but Jack is playing it once again so calm and collected. We've seen him explode, play quickly, flick over the top, play in the air. We've seen him be able to change it up and go right back to the style that I'm used to seeing from him of just killing the pace of play and dominating on the ground. Look at these plays. This time Jack comes from the ceiling, gets his 360. He's been really loving his 360. And then he wave dashes. 2 different 360s there. And KhaliD was not ready for the extra speed that Jack gave it. Doesn't know when to challenge since Jack has that reset. Jack playing a bit of keep away as he flicks it far away from the net to prevent KhaliD from getting any contact. He doesn't care if the ball goes in the net. He just doesn't want KhaliD to get a touch. Double reset from KhaliD. No. Sorry, from Jack. KhaliD says no. He's not going to let him get that. 3-1. This is a low-scoring game. So despite the fact that Jack has pretty clearly controlled this one for the first half, KhaliD is not far off. Arcing flick over the top of KhaliD, just trying to force him to get a save. Not a great first touch, and then KhaliD actually pulled off of it. He thought Jack was going to give up on it, I think. My guess is as KhaliD goes up, he's thinking, oh, no way Jack actually comes up to make a play on this because I'm going to get him beat or something. I don't know, because he obviously aimed for Jack not touching it. Whereas if he pre-jumped expecting Jack to hit it, he would have gone much higher and maybe intercepted it. KhaliD cut in a second, so he's still only 2 goals off. I mean, 2 minutes, 2 goals. Far from impossible. Very likely in ones, really. Jack boxing out KhaliD here on the trip to the corner. And I think we're going to see another ground dribble from Jack where he just kills the pace of play. KhaliD doesn't want it, so he immediately turns to dunk it away from him. It's probably a good decision. He's looking to stay aggressive here, despite not having the boost advantage. Jack pre-jumps and covers the low 50 as well. Long shot from Jack, and it's placed too well. What a good recovery from KhaliD, and it's just not going to matter. The best you could hope for with 0 boost. And he actually gets a touch on it, but he just couldn't quite get it out. Doubles it in his own net off the post. 5-2. A minute 24 left to go. Jack is looking like a machine built to play 1v1. At least not on this kickoff, though. KhaliD's still only 2 out. Like I said, 2 is just such a closable distance. In fact, 1 is even more closable. The kickoffs have been looking good for him. The series isn't over until the clock finally hits 0. Sometimes not even then. Jack's going to win this one, though. Should get boost. He's going to take both boosts on the map and then play a bit of keep away. KhaliD is not interested in having that happen to him, though. So despite only working with a couple pads, he's going to chase Jack down. He's trying to get Jack to make a poor touch, but Jack evades, slams the ball to the back wall. KhaliD faking the save out of the inside of the net does force Jack to slow it down, and look at how slow he's playing this. There's just nobody else who does it like Jack. He will just stop the ball on the goal line if he feels it's the right move. Jack now with space. Deciding doesn't need a shot. He'd rather hold possession or at least make his play from the corner. KhaliD, good challenge. He get back down to the ground and around this one. Jack actually didn't have a great recovery. You saw him wobble a bit, which does mean he's going to be arriving back home a bit late. Doesn't matter. Still makes the save. Jack now carrying this all the way from one end to the other. Misses the shot. He's going to steal the boost. Can he just protect this ball? It seems like he should be able to. KhaliD low. Not able to get his own 100. It is so hard to make a last-second play when you don't have the boost advantage. Jack is going to do it. A full sweep. He has looked like a monster here in this best of 5 against KhaliD. And he will take home the $300.